Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'll be doing a book haul. I will be talking about all the books that I purchased in the year of 2024. I have been accumulating these books for the entire year. So I'm going to talk about all the books that I purchased this year, and I'm going to tell you if I have read them and what my thoughts on them are. I have a bunch of books here that I am scared to pick up because they're going to fall off. So let's just get started. I'm going to do that in a chronological order based on starting from the beginning of the year until right now. The first books I bought this year are Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte and Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I have read both of these books actually. I have read them like a few years ago, but I don't own a physical copy, and I do want to reread them eventually. I haven't had the chance to reread them this year. Obviously I have seen the movie for both, so I remember my memory of these books are like taken by the books, but I do want to reread these books eventually, and I know that I'm going to still love them and enjoy my time with them, so I bought these copies. Next I went to the book fair that happened this year, and I ended up buying from there 4 books. The first book I bought is A Movable Feast by Ernest Hemingway. I know that when I talked about this book I said that this was my first Hemingway, and that was actually a lie. That's not true. When I was transferring my data from Goodreads to Fable, I found out a list that says uni books, and I found out so many Hemingway books in there that I have completely no memory of. All I've seen is that I've given them 2 stars, and that is because I think I've given 2 stars to every book I've read in uni. So maybe that's just because I was bitter because I was forced to read those books, not because I actually did enjoy them. So I do want to reread those books. There are some Hemingways, there are some George Orwell, many other authors that I didn't even think that I've read from, and I do want to do a reading vlog later, like in 2025, and maybe reread those books and see if I actually dislike them or if I was just being petty or something. So as I was talking about this book, I did actually enjoy this one. I gave this one 4 stars. This was the first Hemingway book that I actually enjoyed. Also, when I picked this book up, I did not know that it's a non-fiction book. I thought it's fiction because I've seen that this one has the best reviews when I was purchasing it. I was hesitant between this one and Snows of Kilimanjaro, but Snows of Kilimanjaro didn't have that great reviews, and this one had the best reviews so far, so I picked it up. It turned out to be a non-fiction book, but I still enjoyed it, and I think this is one of the only non-fiction books that I have read this year. And yeah, this was a 4 stars, and I really like this one. Next up, still in the book fair, I bought Don Quixote by Cervantes. I have not read this one. It's quite intimidating, like it's so thick, and the font is super small. Also, I really like this new Wordsworth Classics because I have the old Wordsworth Classics. The covers of this edition were so ugly, and the quality wasn't very good either. Like it wasn't floppy, and once you open it, there's this creases that happen in the middle here, and then it just kind of starts peeling off, and it just does not look pretty. As opposed to this one, it's very floppy, so it will be very comfortable to actually read it. And also the cover is much more appealing than the old Wordsworth Classics, so I'm looking forward to read this one, even though I'm intimidated by it. The next book I bought, still in the book fair, is The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. I have read this one in summer, I think, and I fell in love with this book. The writing of this book is just so beautiful. Like Kazuo Ishiguro's prose is just makes you feel so many things. And as this one, like any other Kazuo Ishiguro's books, doesn't really focus on the plot, although there is some sort of a plot. But this one focuses more on the characters' feelings and the thoughts, and you're basically supposed to feel the same things that they are feeling, and the relationships in here, and it's beautiful. This one actually made me miss Kazuo Ishiguro's writing, so I had to reread another book by him because I just love his writing so much. And I've only read 3 books by him. I'm definitely looking forward to reading more, and I highly recommend this one as well. The final book, the final book in the book fair I got is His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. This one is the bind up of the trilogy. We have Northern Lights, The Southern Life, and The Amber Spyglass. This is the Everyman's Edition. I think this one is the most beautiful book I currently own. I have not read this one. I know this is a middle grade and a lot of people have read it and enjoyed this. I did not read it when I was young, but I'm looking forward to reading it because I know that people say that this is still enjoyable as an adult, so that's why I got it. I'm looking forward to getting into it like this winter. Yeah, it's very thick, but also it's a bind up, so it makes sense, and I can't wait to read this one because I don't know actually the plot of this one. I don't know the synopsis, but from what I've heard from it, like the praise that I've heard about this book, it just made me pick it up without actually knowing what it's about, and I don't want to look up anything before starting it. Next up, I bought a book that I also have already read, and that is If We Were Villains by Emma Rio. I have read this one the first time maybe in 2018 or 2019 or maybe 2017. Those times are like the same for me, and at the end of this I just read the first couple chapters of pages and at the end of it because I was so annoyed at how many times the characters bring up Shakespeare. But I wanted to give it a chance this year. I bought this copy and I read it, and this is one of my favorite books right now. The Shakespeare quotes did not actually bother me as much at all. Actually, I think it didn't bother me at all. But the opposite, I was actually enjoying some of the Shakespeare quotes, and it actually made me pick up some Shakespeare book because I have never read anything from him before. So yeah, this was a 5-star and I have read it obviously. Next up is a book that I also have already read a few years ago and I bought it again, and that is The Humans by Matt Haig. This was one of the books that I would say made me this book actually like created my taste, and I have reread it this year after buying this copy and it still holds up. It's still a favorite book, and yeah, I love Matt Haig's writing. This one is still one of my favorite books. The next book is a book that I haven't actually read yet, and that is Poor Folk by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I was watching a book about the best Russian classics, and this one came up. I don't know much about it, only that I know that it's an epistolary novel between two people who are maybe talking about poor people or are themselves poor people. That's all I want to know about it, and I have not picked it up yet, but I'm looking forward to reading it. The next book I bought is a book that I also have already read, but I don't own the copy of. Well, actually, this one I bought 1984. I do own the copy of this one, and it's in French, and I also want to reread it in the original language because I think that would be more enjoyable for me, because I didn't enjoy the French one that much, and I think that's probably because of the language or because I did not like classics at that time. But I would say that even if I did not like classics at that time, I still enjoyed it for what it is, but I'm looking forward to enjoying it even more right now with the original language. And the final book I got this year is a book that I kind of already read but not really, and that is White Nights by Fyodor Dostoevsky. The reason I'm saying already read but not really is because I've read the first story, which is White Nights. There are in here, I think, how many stories are in here? Here, White Nights, A Gentle Creature, The Dream of a Ridiculous Man. So I have read a third of this book, basically. I have 2 stories that I haven't read, but I'm going to say I have read this one, and yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I kind of related to the main character a little bit in this story, and I also watched the adaptation of this one, but the Russian one. I know that there is another one which is an Italian. I haven't seen that one. These are all the books that I purchased in the year of 2024. They are around 9 books or 10, so which is usual for me. Every year I always buy this amount of books, not intentionally, but it just happens to be like that, and I think it's because I read most of my books as ebooks. Let me know how many books you bought this year, and if you have read the majority of them or all of them or none at all. So yeah, I will see you in another video very soon. Goodbye.